The transition between the 1982 and 1986 FIFA World Cups was a pivotal moment in the history of Brazilian soccer, marked by challenges, restructuring, and decisions that would shape the future of the national team. Following the unforgettable yet heartbreaking 1982 campaign, where Brazil showcased dazzling, attacking soccer under Tele Santana's leadership, featuring legends like Zico, Socrates, and Falcao, the team's elimination by Italy in the match known as the Tragedy of Saria left a lasting scar. Despite captivating the world with its brilliance, the team returned home without the much-coveted trophy, sparking deep reflection on the road ahead. With the end of that era, the Brazilian Football Confederation (CBF) embarked on a phase of renewal, but the path was anything but straightforward. Tele Santana was replaced, and new efforts were made to find a coach capable of balancing the magic of the beautiful game with the efficiency needed to secure victories. Carlos Alberto Pereira was among the first to take charge during this period, but his initial tenure failed to provide the stability the team desperately needed. Eventually, Tele was called back, underscoring the difficulty of moving away from the philosophy of 1982 while dealing with increasing pressure for results. The dilemma facing the national team was profound. Should Brazil remain true to the essence of its captivating style of play, which had made it a global icon, or adopt a more pragmatic approach to ensure victories? This tension influenced every decision, from player selection to tactical strategies. Finding a balance between the creativity of its stars and the discipline required for success became one of the greatest challenges, especially in a rapidly evolving and increasingly professionalized sport. Beyond technical difficulties, Brazilian soccer also grappled with political influences. During the 1980s, Brazil was undergoing a significant transition, moving from a military regime to a process of democratization. In this context, the national team became a symbol of national pride, often subjected to external pressures. Decisions were not always guided solely by sporting merit, but were also influenced by interests beyond the field. This political interference further complicated the already delicate task of building a competitive team, leading to internal instability and conflicts. Preparation for the 1986 World Cup was tumultuous. Friendly matches and tournaments served as testing grounds for players and strategies, but frequent changes in the coaching staff, injuries to key players, and the challenge of integrating players based abroad posed significant obstacles. The tight schedule and lack of continuity in the coaching staff's work undermined the consistency needed to form a cohesive and well-prepared team capable of meeting the demands of such a prestigious tournament. When Tele Santana returned as head coach, the hope was that he could replicate the beauty of 1982, this time with a stronger emphasis on tangible results. However, the task ahead was monumental. To prove that it was possible to combine artistry with efficiency without betraying the principles that defined Brazilian soccer. The squad selection for the 1986 World Cup reflected this attempt to strike a balance, bringing together veterans like Zico and Socrates, who still dazzled, and emerging talents who promised to add dynamism to the team. The transition from 1982 to 1986 was therefore much more than a change of names or adjustments to the roster. It was a period of intense reflection on what it meant to be the Brazilian national team. The challenges were not only technical and tactical, but also deeply tied to the expectations of a nation that lived and breathed soccer, while undergoing significant social and political transformations. This era offered lessons that extended beyond the field and shaped the team's future, paving the way for the challenges still to come. The coaches who led Brazil in the 1986 cycle. The period leading up to the 1986 FIFA World Cup was a turbulent chapter in Brazilian soccer, marked by instability at the helm of the national team. Over the course of the qualification cycle, different head coaches assumed command, each bringing their own philosophies, approaches, and challenges. This carousel of leadership highlighted the difficulties Brazil faced in balancing its historic commitment to the beautiful game with the need for results after the disappointment of 1982. Among these coaches, Tele Santana stands out as a central figure, returning to the role after a tumultuous period filled with controversies and debates over the future of the national team. The first phase of the 1986 cycle began with Carlos Alberto Pereira, a young coach who had already earned a reputation for his meticulous tactical acumen. Pereira's approach focused on modernizing Brazil's gameplay, emphasizing defensive organization and tactical discipline. However, his tenure was short-lived. The perception that his strategies were overly conservative, combined with his inability to produce the immediate results demanded by fans and the Brazilian Football Confederation, CBF, led to his dismissal. Pereira's pragmatic vision clashed with the romantic idealism that many still associated with Brazilian soccer, especially after the artistic flair of 1982. Following Pereira's exit, Evaristo de Macedo took the reins of the national team. A former player with an impressive career in Brazilian and European clubs, Evaristo brought a more flexible and player-focused approach. He sought to reconcile the traditional Brazilian style with the realities of modern soccer. Despite his efforts, his tenure was marred by internal disputes and inconsistent performances during friendlies and preliminary competitions. Evaristo struggled to maintain the cohesion needed for a team still recovering from the psychological blow of the 1982 World Cup. External pressures, particularly from the CBF and influential figures in Brazilian soccer, compounded his difficulties, resulting in yet another coaching change. Eduardo Antunes Coimbra, better known as Edu, briefly stepped in as an interim coach during this volatile period. While Edu's role was largely transitional, his presence underscored the broader struggles within the national team's structure. His short stint was characterized by experimental lineups and attempts to stabilize the squad, but the lack of continuity and long-term planning limited his ability to leave a lasting impact. The frequent changes in leadership created an environment of uncertainty for the players, complicating efforts to build a cohesive and competitive team. The return of Tele Santana to the national team in 1985 marked a turning point in the lead-up to the 1986 World Cup. Despite the heartbreak of 1982, Tele's reputation as a master tactician and his commitment to attacking soccer remained intact. His reinstatement reflected the CBF's acknowledgement that his vision still resonated with the Brazilian public. Tele sought to rebuild the team with a mix of veterans from 1982 and emerging talents, aiming to combine the artistry of Brazilian soccer with a more pragmatic edge. However, Tele's second tenure was far from smooth. The coach faced immense pressure to deliver not only beautiful soccer but also results, a dual expectation that often seemed contradictory. Injuries to key players, particularly Zico, and the aging of other stars from 1982 posed additional challenges. Furthermore, the political climate surrounding the team, marked by interference from sponsors, the media, and the CBF, created a highly charged atmosphere. Tele worked tirelessly to mold the team into a unit capable of competing at the highest level, but the weight of external pressures loomed large. Tele's approach during this period revealed a deeper evolution in his coaching philosophy. While he remained steadfast in his belief in attacking soccer, he also recognized the need for tactical adaptability and defensive solidity. This shift was evident in his selection of players who could bring balance to the team, blending creativity with discipline. Despite these efforts, the inconsistencies that plagued Brazil's preparation underscored the challenges of transitioning between generations and meeting the sky-high expectations of a soccer-obsessed nation. The repeated changes in leadership during this cycle highlighted broader issues within Brazilian soccer at the time. The CBF's inability to provide stability and clear direction undermined the team's preparations, creating an environment where short-term fixes often took precedence over long-term planning. The revolving door of coaches not only affected team performance, but also eroded public confidence in the national team's ability to reclaim its place at the pinnacle of international soccer. By the time the 1986 World Cup approached, Brazil's journey under 4 different coaches had shaped the team into a reflection of the nation's broader struggles and aspirations. Each coach brought valuable contributions, but the lack of continuity and the constant external pressures created a fragmented process that left Tele Santana with the daunting task of unifying the team in the final stretch. His ability to instill belief and harness the talent at his disposal became a defining feature of Brazil's campaign, even as the scars of the tumultuous cycle remained visible. The 1986 cycle serves as a vivid reminder of the complex interplay between talent, leadership, and external influences in shaping the trajectory of Brazilian soccer. The contrasting styles and philosophies of the 4 coaches who led the team during this period reflect the rich tapestry of challenges and opportunities that define the history of the sport in Brazil. As Tele Santana took the team to Mexico, the lessons of the preceding years remained etched in the hearts of players and fans alike, shaping their hopes and dreams for the future. The qualifiers, a smooth path to qualification, Brazil's journey to the 1986 FIFA World Cup began with the South American qualifiers, a stage that often brings drama and tension. However, for the Seleção, the path to Mexico proved to be relatively straightforward. Drawn into a group with Bolivia and Paraguay, Brazil was expected to dominate, and the team largely lived up to these expectations. The qualifiers served as a test of resilience, adaptability, and the ability to reconcile past disappointments with future ambitions. Despite the turbulence within the coaching staff and the lingering shadows of the 1982 World Cup, Brazil's talent and depth shone through, allowing the team to secure qualification without significant hurdles. The structure of the group stage qualifiers was simple yet unforgiving. Brazil faced each opponent twice, once at home and once away, in a round-robin format. This setup left little room for error, especially given the challenges of playing in South America, where altitude, passionate crowds, and harsh travel conditions often influence results. Bolivia, known for its intimidating high-altitude stadium in La Paz, posed a unique challenge, while Paraguay brought a rugged and disciplined style of play that could frustrate even the most skilled teams. The campaign kicked off with a crucial away match against Bolivia. Playing in the thin air of La Paz, where the altitude often drains the stamina of visiting players, Brazil had to adapt quickly. Despite the physical toll, the Seleção demonstrated its superiority, controlling possession and dictating the pace of the game. A brilliant goal from Careca, who was emerging as a key figure in the team, secured a narrow yet vital 1-0 victory. This result set the tone for the qualifiers, proving that Brazil could overcome difficult conditions and maintain its focus under pressure. Next came an away game against Paraguay in Asunción. Unlike the Bolivians, the Paraguayan team relied less on environmental advantages and more on their aggressive, well-organized gameplay. Paraguay's physicality and tactical discipline tested Brazil's ability to break down a compact defense. However, Brazil's attacking flair ultimately prevailed. Zico orchestrated the midfield with his vision and precision, creating opportunities that eventually led to a decisive 2-1 victory. This one placed Brazil in a commanding position in the group, solidifying its reputation as the dominant force in South America. The return leg against Bolivia, held at the Estadio do Morumbi in São Paulo, was a stark contrast to the tense away fixture. Backed by a passionate home crowd, Brazil unleashed its full attacking potential, putting on a show of technical brilliance and fluid teamwork. Goals from Socrates and Eder highlighted the match, which ended in a comfortable 3-0 victory. This game not only showcased Brazil's superiority, but also reaffirmed the connection between the team and its supporters, who were eager for redemption after the heartbreak of 1982. The final group stage match against Paraguay in Rio de Janeiro was essentially a formality, with Brazil already assured of qualification. Still, the team approached the game with professionalism, aiming to finish the campaign on a high note. The match ended in a 1-1 draw, a result that reflected Brazil's control of the group, while also providing Paraguay with a hard-fought point. Although the performance lacked the intensity of previous games, it underscored Brazil's ability to manage games strategically when the stakes were lower. Brazil's qualification campaign was notable for its balance between defensive solidity and attacking creativity. The team conceded only 2 goals across 4 matches, a testament to the defensive organization instilled by the coaching staff. Players like Oscar and Julio Cesar provided a strong foundation at the back, while midfield maestros like Zico and Socrates ensured fluid transitions and incisive passing. Up front, Careca emerged as a reliable goal scorer, filling the void left by the aging Paulo Roberto Falcao and complementing the team's attacking dynamics. The smooth qualification process also offered the opportunity to test and integrate new talents into the squad. Younger players like Silas and Josemar gained valuable experience, while veterans continued to lead by example. This blend of youth and experience created a balanced team that seemed well equipped for the challenges of the World Cup. Despite the relatively easy path to Mexico, the qualifiers exposed underlying issues that would later resurface during the tournament. The coaching carousel and the lack of continuity in tactical approaches meant that the team occasionally lacked cohesion. While the individual brilliance of players often masked these deficiencies, the absence of a unified philosophy posed questions about how Brazil would fare against stronger opponents on the world stage. The calmness of the qualification campaign also contrasted sharply with the chaos and passion that typically define Brazilian soccer. Fans, while pleased with the results, remained skeptical about the team's ability to replicate the exhilarating style of 1982. The qualifiers were a reminder that success in soccer often involves pragmatism and adaptability, qualities that the team displayed in abundance. However, the memory of past disappointments loomed large, keeping expectations in check. In hindsight, the 1986 qualifiers were a crucial period of transition for the Seleção. The campaign allowed the team to rebuild its identity and regain confidence after the trauma of 1982. It provided a platform for experimentation and growth, enabling the coaching staff to fine-tune tactics and evaluate player combinations. While the road to Mexico was smoother than many anticipated, it was also a journey filled with lessons and insights that would shape Brazil's approach to the World Cup. The success in securing qualification underscored Brazil's enduring status as a soccer powerhouse. Despite the challenges of rebuilding and navigating internal and external pressures, the team's talent and determination carried it through. As Brazil prepared to take the global stage in Mexico, the qualifiers served as both a confidence booster and a reminder of the work that still needed to be done. The world awaited with anticipation to see if Brazil could reclaim its throne and bring the magic of the beautiful game back to its rightful place. The 1986 World Cup, matches and expectations. The 1986 FIFA World Cup in Mexico marked another opportunity for Brazil to showcase its footballing prowess on the world stage. Despite a tumultuous preparation phase characterized by coaching changes, tactical adjustments, and lingering doubts, the Seleção arrived at the tournament as one of the favorites. The blend of seasoned veterans like Socrates and Zico with emerging talents such as Josimar and Careca gave fans hope that Brazil could recapture the magic of past glories. From the group stages to the knockout rounds, Brazil's campaign in the 1986 World Cup was filled with dazzling moments, passionate displays, and the unyielding expectation of delivering the beautiful game. Brazil was placed in Group D alongside Spain, Northern Ireland, and Algeria, a draw that appeared favorable but still demanded focus and resilience. Each opponent presented unique challenges, testing Brazil's ability to adapt while maintaining its distinctive attacking style. As the tournament kicked off, fans and analysts alike were eager to see if the team could overcome its turbulent lead-up and fulfill its immense potential. The first group stage match against Spain set the tone for Brazil's campaign. Playing at the Estadio Jalisco in Guadalajara, the Seleção faced a tough Spanish side known for its technical prowess and disciplined defense. Brazil's attacking intent was evident from the outset, with Careca and Socrates orchestrating moves that repeatedly threatened Spain's backline. A controversial moment arose when Spain appeared to score, but the goal was disallowed for an alleged foul, a decision that would spark debates long after the match. Ultimately, Brazil prevailed 1-0, with Socrates delivering a masterful header to secure the win. The victory was hard-fought, but reinforced the team's ability to grind out results under pressure. The second match saw Brazil take on Algeria, a team that had impressed in the 1982 World Cup, but was considered an underdog in this encounter. In this game, Brazil's attacking fluidity came to the fore. The Seleção dominated possession, displaying the kind of intricate passing and creative flair that had endeared them to fans worldwide. Careca emerged as the star of the match, scoring 2 goals that showcased his clinical finishing and intelligent movement. Josimar, making his World Cup debut, scored a spectacular long-range goal that became one of the tournament's iconic moments. The 3-0 victory not only secured Brazil's place in the knockout stages, but also silenced critics who had doubted the team's readiness. Brazil's final group stage match was against Northern Ireland, a team known for its physicality and defensive organization. By this point, Brazil had already qualified for the next round, but the players approached the game with professionalism and determination. Careca once again proved instrumental, scoring another goal to bring his tally to 3 for the tournament. The midfield trio of Zico, Socrates, and Alameo controlled the tempo, ensuring a comfortable 3-0 victory. The group stage ended with Brazil as one of the few teams to win all its matches without conceding a single goal, a testament to the team's balanced approach and defensive solidity. As Brazil progressed to the knockout stages, expectations among fans and pundits soared. The Seleção's performances in the group stage had reignited hopes of capturing a 4th World Cup title. Careca's form in front of goal, Josimar's stunning debut, and the leadership of Socrates provided a solid foundation for the challenges ahead. However, questions lingered about the fitness of key players like Zico, who was battling injuries, and the team's ability to handle the physical and psychological demands of the tournament's latter stages. The round of 16 saw Brazil face Poland, a team with a history of World Cup success, but one that was in decline by 1986. The match was held at the Estadio Quarterfinal in Puebla, where Brazil once again dazzled with its attacking brilliance. Careca opened the scoring with a deft finish, followed by goals from Socrates and Edinho. Zico, despite his limited mobility, provided glimpses of his genius with precise passes and creative playmaking. The 4-0 victory was Brazil's most convincing performance yet, solidifying its status as a favorite to win the tournament. While the victories brought joy and renewed confidence, the team remained acutely aware of the mounting pressure. The memory of 1982, when Brazil's dazzling play had ultimately fallen short, loomed large. Critics and fans alike debated whether the team's pragmatic approach in 1986 was a necessary evolution or a departure from the essence of Brazilian football. Tele Santana, who had returned as head coach, faced the unenviable task of balancing the expectations of aesthetic brilliance with the pragmatic demands of winning. Individually, several players rose to prominence during the tournament, each contributing to Brazil's success in unique ways. Careca, with his lethal finishing and intelligent positioning, emerged as one of the tournament's top scorers. Josimar, initially a backup player, became a revelation with his dynamic runs and spectacular goals from the right-back position. Socrates, as captain, provided both on-field leadership and moments of brilliance that lifted the team in crucial situations. Even players like Branco and Julio Cesar, often overshadowed by their attacking counterparts, played pivotal roles in maintaining Brazil's defensive stability. Off the field, the World Cup atmosphere in Mexico provided a vibrant backdrop for Brazil's campaign. The passionate support from Brazilian fans, who had traveled in large numbers, created a home-like environment for the team. The players frequently spoke about drawing energy from the chants, songs, and unwavering encouragement of their supporters. The tournament also offered a platform for the players to connect with the broader Latin American community, forging bonds that transcended the boundaries of sport. As the tournament progressed, the challenges became more formidable, and the stakes grew higher. The knockout rounds demanded not just skill, but also mental toughness and strategic acumen. Brazil's journey was far from over, and the team knew that its ultimate success would be determined by how it handled the pressure and intensity of the remaining matches. The group stage and early knockout performances offered glimpses of a team capable of greatness. Yet, the specter of past failures and the unpredictability of the World Cup meant that nothing could be taken for granted. For the players, the coaches, and the fans, the 1986 World Cup represented both an opportunity and a challenge. A chance to reclaim Brazil's place at the pinnacle of world football, while honoring the legacy of those who had come before. The 1986 World Cup quarterfinal between Brazil and France remains one of the most iconic and emotional moments in football history. Held on June 21st at the Estadio Jalisco in Guadalajara, the match featured two of the tournament's most talented teams, both celebrated for their technical skill and attacking styles. Brazil, with its captivating performances earlier in the competition, entered as a favorite, while France, led by Michel Platini, was equally determined to make history. What unfolded was a dramatic clash that left Brazilian fans heartbroken, pondering what might have been. Brazil approached the game with confidence, showcasing attacking brilliance through players like Careca, Socrates, and Josimar. Despite concerns over Zico's fitness, the team aimed to redeem itself after the disappointment of 1982. Coach Tele Santana had emphasized a balance between creativity and defensive stability, a formula that had worked well up to this point. France, meanwhile, had its own momentum, having defeated defending champions Italy in the round of 16. Platini's leadership and tactical acumen were key, and the French team braced for the challenge of facing Brazil. The match began with both teams playing expansive football. Brazil took an early lead in the 17th minute when Careca scored after a well-executed build-up. The goal, a testament to Brazil's cohesion, ignited dreams of a semi-final berth. However, France responded in the 41st minute as Platini capitalized on a defensive lapse to equalize, showcasing his composure and class. The second half saw end-to-end action, with both teams creating opportunities, but unable to find a decisive goal. Josimar's runs and Zico's precise passes kept the French defense on alert, while Platini orchestrated dangerous counterattacks. In the 72nd minute, Brazil was awarded a penalty, offering a golden chance to regain the lead. Zico, despite his injury struggles, stepped up but was denied by Joel Batz in a stunning save that shifted the game's momentum. With the score locked at 1-1, extra time ensued. Both sides battled fatigue while producing moments of brilliance. Careca hit the post, Socrates narrowly missed a header, and Platini continued to test Brazil's defense. Yet, the deadlock persisted, leading to a penalty shootout. The shootout was fraught with tension and drama. Socrates missed Brazil's opening penalty, while France converted 3 of its first 4. Platini surprisingly missed his attempt, but Zico restored hope with a successful shot. The critical moment came when Julio Cesar hit the post, leaving Brazil on the brink. Luis Fernandez sealed France's victory with a composed finish, sparking celebrations for the French and despair for the Brazilians. In the aftermath, Brazil's elimination was a source of deep reflection. Critics debated whether the team's pragmatic approach under Santana had drifted too far from its attacking identity. Missed chances, particularly Zico's penalty, became symbolic of the loss. For France, the victory was a defining achievement, and Platini's leadership received widespread acclaim. Despite the heartbreak, Brazil's campaign left an indelible mark on the tournament. The team's commitment to attacking football won admiration, even in defeat. The quarterfinal against France remains a poignant reminder of football's emotional highs and lows, illustrating the fine margins that define the sport's greatest moments. And so, we come to the end of this video, where we revisited one of the most emotional moments in the history of the Brazilian national football team. If you admire the Brazilian team and enjoy stories that delve into its glorious past and present challenges, be sure to subscribe to the channel Brazilian National Football Team Forever. Leave a like, share this video with friends who are also passionate about the team, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. See you in the next video. Until next time.